Comment a whole lot.
A Thursday special edition. It is hashtag Real Race Talk, the Revved Up Sports Show. Welcome in, friends. We are back at it once again. Showtime, Bobby Chaffee, Rodney Rodriguez, all of you, and you guys are welcome to chat with us throughout the night as we take you into your Thursday. Bobby, here we go again, dude. Back at it again, finally. Jeez, Louise, seems like forever.
How's it feel to be wired up there now, back connected to the world, man?
I tell you, man, it was one of those things where I was like out of pocket there for a little bit. I was relying on hotspots and phone hotspots and all of these different things. And it's actually kind of nice. I actually liked it. It was nice. It was really, really nice. But we're rolling once again here in the AV Consultations studio, and we'll do it on a Thursday. Kind of like Thursday. Shit happens, you know, by the time we get there started.
SHIT. So happy it's Thursday.
That's right. That's right. Jeff Shepard going to join us here at 6:10. Multi-champion Jeff Shepard. Also scheduled to talk to Paul White. He won a little bit of a race this past weekend. And then Cody Brusso, she's got a couple of championships in her backpack. So we'll talk with her as well. So pretty lit show, as the youngsters say, as we dive into this one. Bobby, how's the week been for you, brother?
Well, it's been progressively better, I guess. You know, little crazy as the week started, but it's just weird kind of being off. You know, I didn't know what to do with my nights. So it's like, did I try to work and some other stuff? I had a little bit too much fun on Amazon Prime Day the last couple of days. So that I bought a little way too much stuff. Bought some duplicate stuff that I didn't necessarily need, but they were just too good of a deal to pass up. So I bought some more stuff. So
not me. I've been banned from buying anything. So I don't buy anything unless absolutely necessary. It's like about the only things that I can buy these days are prescription medicine and groceries. That's it. Other than that, I've been put on hold, which is probably a good thing for me. Very good thing for me.
I mean, I spend a lot of money that I don't have on shit I don't need, but you know, that's part of it. So
yeah,
I'll be up in your neck of the woods on Saturday morning. So
yeah, it's gonna be a good Saturday coming up with Texas OU. So looking forward to that. Lots of work to be done with all of that, and of course on the show, not only with the guests, but we have to talk about. I mean, Cotton Bowl Speedway has the Oktoberfest that's coming up, so I think that's going to be a pretty loaded night there with that, and you know, just a great culmination for them to finish off another great season.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun there. Coming up on the 10th through the 12th. I think tonight's practice. Tomorrow night racing starts at 8, and then Saturday night racing starts at 7. And so there'll be a chance. I don't think I don't know if the trucks are going to be there this time. I think that's been updated since they had a change in management / ownership for the truck series. But Stems will be there. And when I was there a couple of weeks ago for the championship finale, Stems put on one hell of a race, and I would expect nothing different this time around.
Yeah, I did see that. It looked like the trucks, not on the Cotton Bowl thing, but it looks like they are going to be at
37.
Yeah,
Yeah.
37. So looks like that's going to be going on there. So yeah, and a change right there. I saw that looks like the Texas Sprint Series, which they canceled that October 19th event on the pavement over at Houston. That's also been moved out. It looks like a change of ownership there as well. So all these series are changing hands or changing whatever. I mean, I'm never really sure how that works, to be honest with you.
I think it just varies. I think as we talked to a bunch of promoters, I think promoters just get fed up with certain shit, and then they're like, "I'm out, I'm done," and then they find some other sucker to come in and take care of it and take over. And sometimes they think they can do better. A lot of times they don't. And then after a couple of years, they're like, "Why did I do this?" And then they find some other sucker to come over and take over again. But yeah, speaking of series changing hands, one track that's not changing hands, as we found out on Saturday night down there at Texana, is that Texana will be running in 2025. So we talked to Cord Beard about a month and a half ago, 6 weeks or so ago, said he was working for finding somebody for 2025. Hadn't found anybody to work it out yet. So it's going to be a combination of Cord, Monty, and then Sean Klein is going to be race directing full time there in 2025. Look for a race schedule to come out there here within, another 4 or 5 weeks or so when they get everything kind of buttoned up and ready to go. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'll be back down there for as many races as I can get down there too. So it's a pretty good show to end the season there at Texana. So lots of good points battles and really close, tight competition. So just what you came to expect from Texana.
I like that place is going to be, with a plan in place to be doing business. And the whole thing is what I really hope for down south is that there's going to be some sort of, because I mean, I know that the dates are imperative, and like we talk about all the time, there's only a certain amount of dates that racetracks are able to run. But if there was some way possible to where you could get those to where it's not 37, Texana, the race, right? All of them racing at the same damn time, or 3 of them racing on the same weekend, because and it's a hopeless fight. I mean, I'm sorry, they advertise on this show, but if Cotton Bowl's racing on a weekend, you're damned, because they're going to get the cars. And it's one of those things with 37. If 37 is racing, they're going to get the cars. And that's where I wish that they could find a way to co-op and do that. But yeah, I know the promoter, you got to pay the bills, but it's detrimental. I mean, it's detrimental. I mean, that's the whole thing about it. I mean, then everything gets divided. Drivers get divided. I mean, it's the same shit. So hopefully there's a way that's going to get worked out.
Well, I hope so. I mean, Cord's not a dumbass when it comes to business decisions. So, he's got a fairly successful business down there in Edna already. So, and Monty's no stranger to racing, so they'll work it out and try to make it the best that it can be. So, also learned of some improvements to the racetrack that are planned again during the off season after dropping that bucket load of cash on the track last off season. Looks like he's got a few more projects to go. I won't say what they are, so in case they decide to announce it on their own. But looks like another successful off season. It's definitely not going to close. That's for damn sure. Cord's not pumping more money in that place to see it just sit there and rot after he's putting all this money into it. So
yeah, and I've seen a lot of on their post, as it always is with racetracks, where the post goes out and everybody's got ideas. Everybody's, well, don't do this, or be sure and add this, and leave this out, and do it this way. You know what? Contact the racetrack, in this case Texana or whoever. Contact them, become invested, and work with them on what your idea is. Because the ideas and opinions, I mean, I'll say it like we always say it: opinions and assholes. Everybody has them. Get invested, be a part of what's happening, and then you can have a little say in that. But at the same time, when you have a little bit of say in that, just because you have some skin in the game does not mean that you dictate what happens. And that's all too often what we see around here.
Yeah, all too often when you see somebody try to get ankle deep in it, they want to get nose deep in it.
Oh yeah,
and it just becomes a shit show. That's not something you want at any racetrack. So we've seen it before. We'll probably see it again, but hopefully not here anytime soon for sure.
Yeah. But very excited that that track's going to be moving forward with a plan. And again, I mean, it's not a thing about slamming the South Texas tracks, because I mean that's the ongoing problem. And I mean, we've talked to drivers here on this show and team owners, and I think the promoters a lot of times don't really want to go there, because it's something to where, I mean, you don't want to mess up those relationships. But I mean, I think it's so imperative that that happens. But again, those dates are like gold, Bobby, and they're hard to come by. And everybody's going to be trying to get them. And from what they say, when your track is not running, you're losing money.
Well, the problem is it makes more sense if you have 3 tracks to just run every 3 weeks, but that's not enough time. If you have one rain out, you're kind of screwed on paying the bills, right? So you can't really, it's just going to be a give and take a little bit. There's definitely going to be walking on each other, but you can't find a way to make it work with, running once a month in case something happens and you're really screwed. So, those bills still come in, and insurance is still got to get paid, electricity still got to get paid, property taxes still got to get paid, all that stuff got to get paid. So if the track's not open and have cars on the racetrack and butts in the seats, that's not a good equation to make that place stay profitable and stay in the black and stay race ready.
Yeah, and I would truly say that, Bobby, you and I have lived through the downfall of asphalt racing in the state of Texas. And I do think that not the dirt is like at that point right now, because obviously it's not. I mean, the tracks do extremely well, but you've got a lot of classes. You've got extremely long shows. And that was really what started doing the asphalt thing. I mean, where it was like, okay, everybody that wants to have a class, we gotta give them a place to run, and we gotta let them do this, and we gotta let them do that. And I mean, right now there are just so many. If you could trim the fat a little bit, but again, that's not really a problem with a lot of these places. That there's a lot of cars right now. And I think a lot of people just think that they hold a lot of power that maybe they really and truly don't. So. Again, back to the topic of this conversation. I'm very glad that TRP is going to be going once again.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I look forward to it, and like I said, I'll go down there as long as they'll have me, and I'll hit as many races as I can. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I was only supposed to be there for 3 races helping Owen out, and that was 4 years ago. So
I did see this today. So speaking of dirt track racing and dirt cars and so forth and so on. God bless America. That's not what I'm looking for. That's the wrong page. That's my main page. Hold on a second here, and I'll try to get you over to what. Lost it. Brand new IMCA stock car. The Camaro. The Camaro. Look,
that's old news. That's been out for a month.
Oh, has it been out that long?
5-star. They worked out a deal with 5-star to make a Camaro body. It looks weird.
Yeah.
It's like a Monte Carlo with Camaro stickers. Like, it just looks weird. The window's accurate.
Yeah.
But the body's got to remember how remember Dave Cook's old number 7, the Aqua number 7? How he had that custom made body that was kind of rounded on the doors, where everybody else had the sheet metal doors that were straight. Kind of the same thing with a regular stock car body on a Monte Carlo body versus having that Camaro body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not the biggest fan of all that. I mean, to me, an IMCA stock car is what we're accustomed to seeing. I mean, those Monte Carlos and all of those type of things. I mean, I do like with that later model Camaro, I've seen a couple of asphalt cars with that. And I mean, that looks great too. And a lot of people applaud that, but they're the ones that want the asphalt stock car. And I'm like, that's not really an asphalt stock car. You want the car of old. You want the Camaro of old. That's not really the Camaro of old. So anyway, again, that's where everything progresses, and it's different. It's very different.
I mean, you can't have it both ways. Everybody wants, that's why they ended up with aftermarket bodies, and I think that's when it's got out of control, when they wanted to get away from the Camaro bodies and some of the other stuff. And they started allowing the aftermarket bodies on the super stocks and the super street stocks. And then all of a sudden they wanted to run outlaw bodies. That was the downfall of that class when they started letting them run outlaw bodies. And then, granted, I mean, the outlaws we have now are competitive, but the outlaw body cars that they had back then are definitely not the same outlaw cars that they have now.
Yeah.
Just because they're so different. So
yeah. But the only thing is they're home built. That's about the only thing. But even now with the Outlaws on pavement, you can actually get those built for you. So again, that kind of screws up the whole concept of all of that. Waiting on Jeff Shepard. He's on the road. He said he was going to be able to do it. And I'll be very honest with you guys, with the show moving around, it was 3 different times that we were supposed to be on, and we couldn't do it because of connectivity issues. But so thank you all for being a part of this. You may get a heavy dose of Bobby and I in this program, which is actually good, because now that we have a gap in time, and I know that our Racing America crowd will really dig into this, Bobby, because I want to talk about this NASCAR thing. And I was trying to find the time to do it. And right now that we got a gap in time, I'll be damn, this is the time to do it. NASCAR antitrust lawsuit coming from 2 teams. And that's why is Trackhouse not a part of this?
I guess because they got their 3rd charter in, and
I guess so.
Got all that money from Justin Marks' dad and Pitbull. So when he got that other investor too, that came in, that private equity guy that came in and bought in the Trackhouse. So he's not hurting for money.
Yeah. I'm very surprised that this has not happened before. And I've seen a lot of different conversations that have been had here where it's with Jordan, with Michael Jordan trying to do whatever. Let's just listen to here is kind of where everything started. Let's listen to the ultimate yes man when it comes to NASCAR. Here's Larry Mack with his thoughts on all this.
I see black helicopters flying through the air. So 2311, okay, you got a couple of guys involved that came from other sports, and they want to see things done maybe like the world they came from, more in line, okay? I'm not agreeing with it, but I kind of get it. But to me, what just makes me tip my head and go, why Bob Jenkins in Front Row Motorsports? Where does this come from? Where does this come from? A guy that's been in this sport for, again, as he said it, 15 to 20 years. He's tried to build that organization. It's definitely become more competitive. He's won 4 cup races with 3 different drivers, going all the way back to, David Reagan at Talladega, Chris Buescher at Pocono, and, of course, the Daytona 500 and Indy Road course of Michael Badal. Where is this coming from? That's what's got me so confused.
He's been left out. The guy's been left out, and he has spent a lot of money, and the charter thing allows him to be more competitive. He's kind of contradicting his own question right there, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, Front Row has definitely increased their program. They're now a tier 1 team with Ford. They got that a lot, which is something that they never had before. They started doing there's no coincidence that their uptick in ass kicking on the racetrack started when they started getting more factory support from Ford. The alliance with Team Penske helped out a whole lot as well. But yeah, when they started getting factory support and started moving up to tier 1 status, yes, that cost money. But he's invested a lot of money. I think going back to 3 cars where he has that supposed to have that 3rd charter from Stuart Haas. I think that's the difference. I'm like you. I'm surprised Trackhouse wasn't in it because they were trying to go from 2 cars to 3 cars. And so maybe they found a way to make it work versus the way I understand Michael Jordan's position of wanting to make it. We saw in 2020 the power of money with a TV contract to these racetracks. If it was not for TV money, NASCAR would have been on the shelf like every other major sport. But because of the fact they had billions of dollars that went into a TV package, and they're the only sport that could race without fans or that could compete without fans, really, that showed it. But now, it just shows the importance of the charters. I think that having the charters, if it wasn't important, IndyCar wouldn't have made charters. If it wasn't important, they wouldn't try to make this an antitrust lawsuit because it just shows the power of a charter. You know, every charter creates money, controversy creates cash. And I'm not saying I side with either one, but the problem is you had 12 other teams that signed it. And now Childress is backtracking a little bit. But I don't know. I mean, NASCAR is different than it was at Big Bill France, but it's still a hierarchy that, it's still a hierarchy of the system in there. You don't just walk in there and tell somebody what the hell they're doing when their family's had it from day one for 75 years. Yeah.
And the bottom line is with this, and I talked about this on another podcast where it's like, NASCAR puts their own people in place. I mean, it is a monarchy, and it deserves to be. I mean, it deserves to be. I mean, they have built this, but the one thing that I have heard is, well, we're not the NFL. No, you're not. We're not the NBA. Well, you're kind of flirting right there with being the NBA when it comes to the entertainment value and the pizzazz, and you're getting close to that. I mean, I think you're getting close to that, and you're getting close to hockey. They're just not that they haven't been progressive, and they haven't had to be, because you have a lot of guys like Rick, like Joe Gibbs. I mean, that are they're going to walk the company line. They're going to do what they're supposed to do. And I totally get that. I totally get that and understand that. But it's that things are changing a little bit. But let's go to the hotline. We'll get back to that. We'll get to that here in just a second. Oh, well, I thought we were. So we'll try that again. Oh, it's just live, man. Live is great.
You gotta love it. I mean, it's definitely not scripted. No scripts here. About the closest thing we get to scripts is a couple of texts back and forth. We discussed the show.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that's exactly right. So we'll try this again.
I'm like, hey, who we got? You text me, said we got so and so at this time, so and so at this time. All right, cool, thanks.
Yeah. All right. Think we got him now. It is a man. Welcome back to the Revved Up Sports Show on Thursday. Our man, champion, Jeff Shepard. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Doing good. Where the hell are you at, man? You said you guys are going to be on the road. What's going on, man?
We had a delivery from Mansfield, Texas to Overland Park, Kansas that we dropped off today, and now we're headed back to home to try to get our car ready for tomorrow.
Nice. That's awesome.
So we've been running all over the country here lately. We after the last point night at Cotton Bowl, we had 2 trips to Florida with FEMA trailers and a trip to Arizona.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yes, sir.
So
How are y'all doing?
we hanging in there, Jeff. So is it hard to leave the car behind? I mean, like, are you one of those guys when you're on the highway and miles of Texas and windshield time? Are you constantly thinking of ways to make that car faster, or is being on the highway a way to get away from it all for you?
No, we're always thinking about ways to make it faster and better. And now that we're traveling a lot, we actually passed a racetrack on our way back from Arizona the other day in Vado Speedway that you could see from the interstate. I've heard about it, never knew where it was. When you're right there, if you could have been there on a Saturday night, it'd have been great.
Yeah, no doubt. So Jeff, let's talk about it, dude. Not only there, the Champ of Cotton Bowl Speedway, you got the Oktoberfest coming up, summer shootout series, but even bigger, man, national championship of the sport mods with IMCA, man. Talk about the season. This is every time I look around at the top of the heap, there's old Shep.
So, we've had a really good year. The last 2 years have been really good for us. Last year we were real close, lost it by 1 point, but we didn't really start trying until August, and just kind of fell in our lap. So we had to this year over the off season. My wife and I, our team, we kind of talked about let's try it. Let's try to win this. And doing that, we know we were going to have to win at least a track championship somewhere. So we kind of went in planning mode to race somewhere every night. Wound up racing Heart of Texas Speedway and Cotton Bowl Speedway every night to try to win track championships there. Lost by, I think, 7 points in Waco to Brandon Garrett, and then won the one in Cotton Bowl. And so that we got that done, and that's what allowed us to win the national championship.
It's awesome
this year. So the point structure and the things that they have in place, you really have to race hard to get it done, and that's what we did this year. Raced hard.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff, how much change do you make? Do you just drop rear ends when you go from hot over to Cotton Bowl, or is it more? Is it just? I mean, it can't be just the same as washing the dirt off, loading it back up, and taking it back out of the trailer, right? You got to change a lot of stuff to go from Heart of Texas back to Cotton Bowl.
Well, early in the year, we were changing rear ends, and the rear end combination that I have, we are actually having to change rear end and transmission every Saturday morning. Not only getting the car cleaned up, ready to go repaired. So after talking to a few different people, our engine program with Russ Fletcher at Fletcher's Racing Engines, talking to him and just everything, he said, just run the same gear that you run everywhere else. Just take it there and you'll be fine. And so, I mean, probably 3 weeks in, we were taking the same gear and everything to Cotton Bowl that we were running in Waco. And it works fine. I mean, I like it better. And so,
wow,
it made it easier. It did make it where you could wash it, and take care of it, repair it, prep it, and go race it versus, a transmission and rear end swap every Saturday.
Yeah, no doubt. And Jeff, I mean, a national championship right there, and just talking about that between Waco and Cotton Bowl, because the whole thing is, I mean, and that's what's so great about IMCA. You just add up points. I mean, the more you race, I mean, the better the opportunities right there. Talk about those fields, man, because both of those racetracks in those Southern Sport Mods, man, it's a bunch of badasses, all of you guys and ladies that are out there running around in that class.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, like I say, Heart of Texas has always been, really good drivers, really good cars. If you can win there, you can win anywhere. And last year we raced 5 or 6 different racetracks, won it pretty much everywhere we went. This year, we ran a tour, had good luck on the first night and had bad luck the rest of the tour. My son-in-law actually won the All-Star Tour this year, and racing out of the same shop, same kind of cars. He has a generation car also, and it still made it good. It still came home with us, but just the two tracks are so different, the driving style there, but the aggressive nature of trying to win is the same. And so we just we had a lot more luck at Cotton Bowl this year than we did in Waco. We just didn't have very good luck at all in Waco.
Yeah.
We had good luck in Oklahoma this year. Just Waco was rough for us.
Yeah, for sure.
So Jeff, talk about Justin, man. Obviously Justin's a friend of the show. He's a friend of mine. Those GRC cars, we don't know the exact speed secret. He hadn't told us. Maybe he told you. But man, those GRC cars have been kicking ass for a hot minute up here now. Talk about racing with GRC and Justin Long.
Man, it's like no other car I've ever driven. And no, he won't tell me any secrets. He tries to keep those pretty good, I guess. But honestly, they if you get them right, which is pretty easy to do nowadays, they work really, really good. Myself, my son-in-law, Justin's other cars, one of his cars won Rookie of the Year this year, and a track championship also, and our success, and Trey's success. I mean, that all speaks for itself. 3 different drivers, 3 big, championships. And my car by itself within the last 2.5 years, I mean, we're close to 50 wins.
Damn.
On one frame. That probably don't help sales with a lot of frames, but when you can buy one car every 2 or 3 years, you don't have to buy one every 30 races. That really makes a big difference, for a racer, especially a budget racer.
Yeah.
They're just, the feedback from Justin is great, like nobody else that I've ever dealt with. And if it wasn't for Justin, we wouldn't be here. He's helped our team out, not only with that car, but, a lot of other stuff. Parts when we can't get them, and between him and his guys, his team, we had to use a motor one night. We just it's a whole group effort.
Yeah.
For GRC.
Yeah, no doubt. Jeff, I mean, how great for you. I mean, something you said right there. I mean, when you said budget racer, because that's really the thing right there. I mean, when you don't have all the resources and all the different things that some of these others may have, I mean, to look at your name, to see Jeff Shepard and to see national champion, dude, that's got to tingle just a little bit in some good spots.
It really does. Since IMCA Sport Mod came to Waco, 2004, I guess, 2003, I've always dreamed that could be a possibility, but I've never had the best equipment. I've never had the funds to do it, and stuff. And these last few years, I've decided I don't want to race with anything less than the best of everything that I can have. And I do have some good sponsors that help me with that, but it's still a lot of money out of my family, just blood, sweat, and tears, and my wife sacrificing, me sacrificing, everybody around us sacrificing to race with the best equipment every time we go to the racetrack to get it done. Yeah. But, I still do consider us a budget racer. We're not a big funded team. we have some decent sponsors that help us quite a bit, but most of it, like I say, is just friends and family that help us.
Yes, sir.
So Jeff, talk about the struggle, right? I mean, you mentioned that the budget racer and having to share get parts and all that. I mean, it's like we talk about promoters, they don't, the winning looks great and the nights that you have a good success are great, but then you have the bad nights. I mean, talk about just the struggle and the grind, especially doing that. I mean, that's 2 nights a week, or on the average of 2 nights a week, about 4 or 5 times a month, for sure, if not 6, depending on how many times Cotton Bowl raced. I mean, how much of a grind really is it? I mean, to go for a national championship, I mean, it's take no prisoners, and it's it's testicular fortitude and all that. Talk about just that grind of making that happen.
The grind is crazy hard. Like I say, my wife, she sacrifices everything every day. Family time, vacations, trips to the lake fishing. There's nothing. You don't think about any of that stuff. You only think about racing.
Yep. All
day, every day. This year has been pretty extremely hard on us. We kind of got laid off in August, and so the last 2 months we've been just making our own way. Kind of starting our own little small business and working together side by side every day, trying to keep our bills paid, trying to keep our suppliers of some of these parts paid up enough to keep giving us some stuff as we need it.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, it's just every night in the shop that we can. And I have, a couple of guys that really, really work their butts off for me when I'm not there. This week, Charles has been at the shop pretty much every night, and I haven't been there yet. I haven't been there in 2 weeks, I've been gone. And if it wasn't for him, none of it would happen. And then, my son-in-law, like I said, Justin helps out. Just everybody around there, Trey, Ryan, everybody helps us, grind on this thing every week to stay at the racetrack, to keep coming back.
Yeah.
And, we have won some good money this year, but nothing like what it costs, obviously.
Yeah.
But it costs $300 to go to a racetrack, whether that's just the way it is. Fuel, racing fuel, entry, and I know the tracks aren't making a killing. You can see what everything costs. You can't even complain about it. The people that complain about it aren't really participating in it like that. So it's just part of the program. You have to take the good with the bad.
Yeah. The folks with the money part, where it's like, I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone that's profitable in this, to be honest with you. They're very few and far between. So, Jeff, is it now for you with Oktoberfest coming up? Like you said, you guys are trying to get back over here for that. So now with championships in hand and all of that, I mean, do you finally get to exhale and right here in the big race season, go have fun? Or kind of what's the thought here to finish this thing out?
I've been super hard on myself in racing for a long time, and my wife is the one who kind of makes it you either got to go have fun and go to win, or let's not go at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are serious. We're definitely going to win. We're not really excelling, but we're definitely going to have fun and a good time, and we do hope we win. With that being said, but the championship deal, mathematically, I thought I had it won a few weeks ago, and I don't want to brag, and I didn't want to say anything until I knew for sure. And when we got the call yesterday, they kind of sealed the deal. Then it was a breath of fresh air, and a dream come true for me.
Yeah.
And everybody that helps me. So no, we're really going to take these next 2 weeks like we've taken the rest of the year.
That's
we're going to race hard and try to win, and then next year will be a completely different year for us. I think we're gonna try to, just race when we want to race, and kind of calm down with everything as far as I know.
Every week when you want to race, every week.
Yeah. That's what my wife is shaking her head about right now.
Yeah, so don't give me that shit. I know better than that. Come on, man.
Yeah. She does too, and I'm afraid she's probably right. But
Yeah.
these last 2 years, we've raced close to 59s, and some people race a lot more than that. But for like I say, for a budget racer doing it out of their own pocket, with the exception of a few helpers, that's really rough.
Yeah,
it's been really rough.
It's a lot,
but it's been awesome as well, and it's finally paid off for us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Jeff, I have one last question for you, and it's probably the most asked question that we're getting on our text. That's not coming through on the actual feed, but it's coming through on text. Everybody keeps asking us is, who is your son-in-law that you keep talking about? Everybody's asking us. I was like, hell, I don't know. Who is your son-in-law? You said he's a GRC customer.
Nobody's really ever heard of him, but his name is Trey Voto.
Oh my God.
He actually won the championship in the Street Stock Classic this year.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
so, about. He's been giving me a hard time since the tour that he won the tour championship this year, and I didn't. And so, I get to pay him back a little bit finally.
There you go. Yeah. Capitalize national. Say national champion, son. National.
Yeah.
Champion. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. We're just playing the plaques at the shop, and his says All-Star, and then I have 4, I think, that say national points leader. And I'm waiting on the one to come in where it says national champion.
You're damn right.
So
you're damn right. Good stuff.
But
good stuff. Jeff, congratulations, my man. Looking forward to seeing you this weekend there at the Oktoberfest. Man, thank you for jumping on while you've been on the road, brother. We appreciate you so much, man. And way to go this year, dude. Way to go.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all having us on, and thank y'all for what y'all do for racing.
You got it, man. Y'all be well. Travel safe.
All right, y'all too. Thank you.
All right, man. Take care. There he goes. Jeff Shepard. Trey Voto. Damn.
I had no idea.
I don't know how I didn't know that. I should have known that. That's a bad son of a gun right there himself. That dude can wheel it pretty good too.
Yeah, Jeff, and then with the Cotton Bowl wins and stuff like that. Isn't he the one that lost his spoiler on the racetrack? He was hauling ass to the track so much he lost his spoiler last race.
Man, that's outlaw street stock fame right there is Trey Voto. I mean, that's a dude, man. Yeah, dang. That dude's really, really good. Really, really good.
I guess when you got a badass father, you gotta have a husband that can keep up with the father-in-law. So I guess that family's done the right things, because they definitely know how to build speed in race cars. So that's kind of a cool deal over there.
Yeah, that's a lot of winning that's going on right there in that group. So we're a little bit behind. Cody Brusso's coming up a little bit later on, but we're going to dive back in right here because we had a massive race this past weekend. One of the most ultimate race in the United States, the Lone Star 600, with a little bit of a change in venue right there, change in format and everything that we saw, but a very familiar name ends up being the Lone Star 600 champion. It is the legendary, the great Mr. Paul White on the hotline. Paul, how we doing, sir?
Hey, man. How are y'all doing?
Paul, how you doing, man? Sorry about all the confusion this week, dude. It's been
no problem.
Been a little rough, man. Talk about the weekend. Lone Star 600. That's always a hell of a good time.
Yeah, it is. We've been supporting that deal since they started it and everything, and just trying to figure it all out. And didn't really know how the format and everything was going to work out, but just wanted to try to do it,
Yes, sir.
So, Paul, I got a unique question to start out with, and it may put you on the spot a little bit. My question is, we've seen flashes in the pan and some guys that are successful for a couple of years. What is the secret to kicking ass for as long as you have been doing it, man? Like, is there like a special code, like the Mason code that you got to work with or something? You have been fast for so many years in so many different cars. What's the secret of being so fast? Is it just hard work and good luck, or is it good genes? Or talk about it, man.
I really don't know. I don't think I have any secrets or anything as far as that part goes. And my dad ran a long time himself, and it was one of the reasons I didn't get to start when I was even younger. But he was still racing, so it's kind of happening to my son right now. I'm still trying to race and still enjoy it and still going, and he don't get to do that much. But
Yeah,
you know, I really don't know. As long as we can, I don't know what you'd say. Get in the car and I guess more importantly, be able to get out if something happens. Well, I guess we're going to keep doing it.
that's right. That's right. So, Paul, let's talk about something that you mentioned right there, because it is a very different format. And like you said, you guys have been a great supporter of this, going to a smaller track. Everything was kind of broken up, still getting the 600 laps. Kind of talk about the format, because I think the big part of this was you had to be able to advance to get into the finale. Kind of talk about everything for you, how it all played out this weekend there at 105.
Yeah, you know, we didn't. I don't know that anybody knew how it was really going to shake out and work out because of you know, Devil's Bowl, not going to Devil's Bowl, and there's no other tracks that they could start everybody out there, you know, and they came up with an idea, and you know, I think they pulled it off. You know, we hurt some tires, but we ran a lot of laps. We hurt tires at all the tracks that we've run at, you know, especially when you run those kind of laps. But yeah, all in all, we didn't have to follow the leader. We could pass. It was a pretty good time. It was really interesting. Actually, we ran 200 laps, you know, the first night, and didn't really know how it was going to shake out. And we were fortunate enough to run second in that deal. And I was thinking, dang, you know, there were several of us right there together, just like we ended up being in the big race too. And I'm like, man, you know, I didn't have much left. I had to know where, you know, do we need to be faster? Do we need to be more conservative? You know, didn't really know how it was going to shake out.
So, Paul, what's the car prep like between preparing an enduro car and preparing one of your regular cars? Is it the same basic concept, or do you more nut and bolt the enduro car versus the regular car? Because to me, as an outsider that hadn't raced in 20 years, it seems like they're two completely different animals. But from your take, is it the same thing, or tell me about that?
You know, it's kind of the same thing, but we do go to more extremes versus a car that's got to make it 20 or 25 laps versus 200 or 300 laps. You know, we try to brace headers. We try to you know, run coolers on our steering and stuff like that. You know, there's lots of things that that we've actually fallen out of a few races and learned some of those lessons, you know, and headers trying to shake loose and fall off there if you don't brace them up right and things like that. As far as tires, setup, things like that, springs and shocks, I didn't do anything any different, but preparation, yes.
Yeah. So, Paul, did you like this format better? I have to tell you, as watching a lot of it, I was like, okay, I wasn't sure how it was all going to work out, like you said, but man, I kind of liked it, because it seemed a little more like a sprint race type of thing, like we're more used to. I mean, the endurance thing is one thing, but damn it, this one had a lot of activity to where at Devil's Bowl it would kind of spread out. This was easier to follow, it seemed like, for me.
Yeah, you know, I believe it was, and that was one of my decisions not to change tires at the halfway break. On that was there was still so many cars left on the track. I didn't think that if somebody else stayed out, I could make up however many laps I was going to lose during that deal. It was still busy, plumb down to the end of the race after 300 laps, and you had to be at a certain speed to even, you know, just make good laps, you know.
Yep. Yes, sir.
So, Paul, is there an advantage to the wing or is it just to get back to your old all-star modified roots, having a wing on top of a car? Like I don't know. You see some of the guys have them, some of the guys just like flags. But is the wing a big advantage up there on that quarter-mile short track at 105?
You know, that was in my thought. Was it worth it? Did I need to leave the wing off and go to a 4-barrel since we didn't have to worry about fuel consumption and stuff, or did we need the extra, horsepower that we could gain over the 4-barrel versus a 2-barrel? If you're running a wing, you have to run a 4412 500 carburetor. So there is what they're kind of calling your equalizer. Now, Devil's Bowl, I think the carburetor kind of hurt you, but the wing helped you out there for sure. But I don't know that I knew any different. I would know any difference at 105 like we ran the other night. There was a lot of fast cars that ran right there with me the whole time without a wing. I don't know. It's just kind of different.
Yeah. So Paul, do you still have the car? Because I know one of those things at the end of the race there, do they still put it up for I guess bidding?
Yeah,
still in place.
That changed a little bit
Okay.
going to this format. I didn't get anything auctioned off. If I would have won it Friday night instead of running second, I understand the way I read the rules that we would have had our engine, I believe, auctioned off. But I didn't see anywhere in this rules package that said the car now like it was in previous years at Devil's Bowl. It's not really, you can question some things. That's one good thing about this 600, but Jack Barfield and Brad Dixon's got it kind of figured out. They got a 1-page rule book.
That's it.
Okay, it's pretty nice just to look at that and say, okay, and okay, and
That's it.
And that's what you got to work with. So that's a really nice part of that,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, Paul, we got a picture up on the screen that shows you standing behind $20,000 worth of paychecks in there. What are you going to buy with that money? You going to buy new cars? You going to try to buy some shocks? And some of the shocks get real expensive nowadays. I mean, what all does a racer with your experience do with an extra $20,000?
Man, I don't know. In dealing with race car stuff like we do, it's not hard to find a place for money to go. My boy, I thought he was set up here where we might could have done the video and everything, and I was in my shop, and you could see my cars and stuff behind me, and you'd see where all my money goes. So
there's no doubt about that. And again, Paul, thank you for being so patient this week. I know I was like blowing you up on Sunday, and here we are Thursday finally getting this done. But I want to tell you a funny story. So I was actually this past weekend, I was at a San Antonio race reunion, and they had all these different montages of pictures and all these different things. And I was sitting with a couple of old boys, young guys, very young guys. And a picture kept popping up, and they're like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "That's Paul White. Paul White racing at SAS." And they're like, no, you're full of shit. I'm like, no, that's Paul White.
Yeah.
Do you remember those days? Back in that open?
I never did get that place mastered by no means or anything. But what really happened with that is our track was changing rules on our classes and stuff up here when we were NASCAR sanctioned back. And I can't remember exactly what year that was. It was in the 90s.
Yeah, 91, 90. Yeah, 91. Yeah.
Somewhere in there. And I took my dirt late model that I had won that Winston Racing Series deal up here that I was running. I took my dirt car and we tried to make a pavement car out of it and go down there and run. And it wasn't the place to be. They taught me all kinds of lessons in that. But they were NASCAR sanctioned at the time down there, and we were just going to support that and try it out and check it out. But I should have bought me a pavement car instead of trying to go down there with a dirt car and run with them. That's for sure.
That is all right.
So Paul, you run a lot of cars. Talking about the late model and different stuff. Do you have one that sticks out as a favorite after all of them? Is it like an outlaw midget or one of the stock cars, or what's your favorite? Two-parter. What's the favorite one you remember, and what's the one you like the most now?
My favorite one is whichever one pays the most. That's probably the best way to figure that out. I don't know how else to say it, but I like big money shows, and that's what I like to go to, and I like to, try to be prepared for them and do well.
Yeah.
But on the other side of that, I really like my sprint car stuff and everything, and I don't know that I have a favorite. There's good things about all of them, I like the excitement of the non-wing sprint car. I like the speed and just the G-forces and stuff of the wing car. I like to go to Chili Bowl and run the midget. That's for sure. I got to run in at Heart of Texas this year. Just ended up in a little points battle. Well, with Jeff Shepard and Brandon Guerin and Trevor Cogburn was always up there at the front. We had a heck of a year there. I didn't think I was going to get to run all the points, but races, because I was scheduling sprint car, and we kept getting rained out. And next thing you know, here we are most of the time. But I enjoy the sport mod. I drove a sport mod, and I got in an iStock car here the last little bit, and we won the championship at Heart of Texas in it. I don't know. There's something about every one of them that I enjoy. I really like these enduros. I like what car I have. I like how you can drive it, in those, and the strategy and stuff that goes along with it all. So, I don't know. We ran 5 classes, really 6 counting the enduro this year, and just really can't complain. I can't say I have a favorite. Whichever one I do the best in that day, that's my favorite.
That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. You always do well in everything you do, sir. Paul, again, thank you for this week. I definitely want to see if maybe during the off season we can do another one of those, or we can do extended with that shop view, because I think that's something that we
ought to get together and do that. Can I thank a few of the people here that we were doing that? Do we have time for that?
Sure. Yeah. Take all the time you need.
I've got a partner in this enduro car, and it was Marty Robbins, and he builds the engines and builds race engines for a lot of people that race out here at Waco and everything. So, I got Robbins Race Engine, which is Marty and Whitney, and brake and clutch for Richie and Cheryl, and Wicked Fast Transmission, and Richard Pickens. China Spring Lube and Service is Greg Wade. P1 Performance, and and I got a lot of that. That's all of them on my 600 car, my enduro car. But I got a lot of personal people that helped me for years and going on. Race On, Chris Davis and stuff. He's always helped. I got Lone Star Super Gas, Deathridge Optical, Tubbs Paint Body, Peeper, Peeper Racing, Skip, Bell County Iron and Metal with Bill and Billy Buckmeyer, Bell County Electric, Kenny Stone and them, Champ One Race Field, my brother Keith, and I really want to thank, BP, my son, and Jack Meoff and Rhonda, what they do, and Jeff Walter, Gary and Melissa, Dee and Bree and Shelby, and Joe and Eileen out there at the Speed Cave. Have y'all been there yet? I'm gonna take y'all. Y'all got to get together with me. Let me get y'all out there if y'all have not.
Have not been to that, Paul.
I need to take y'all out there.
All
and
right.
And I got these other cars that I've been driving with was the PJ and Stephanie Kingery. Man, we've really worked at things this year, trying to keep me on track and doing things. And, you know, I really got to thank them for letting the old guy, you know, old fat bald headed guy still come out there and do what he likes to do, you know, and I just appreciate all that. So I wanted to bring him up and talk a little bit about him and say, just recognize them all I can. You know?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Mr. White, you may be a little bit older, but you're kicking all the young dudes' asses, and that's really cool to see. I love that that you continue to do that and winning the Lone Star 600 with the new format. It's really cool that you win that, and like I said, let's definitely do. Yes, I will go anywhere. But I'm sure Bobby will too. You want to take it?
Yeah.
We will go.
You know, we're going to have an open deal.
Okay.
I think it's in December.
Okay.
And it's usually on a Sunday. Hang on one second, and I'm pulling up the date of that, the exact date of that and everything. And I think it's December 8th.
Perfect.
And it's kind of an all-day deal, and we'll have some cars sitting out there, and you just need to walk through and look through the inside of everything that they got.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll invite you myself, so y'all be sure and make some kind of plan to come along.
You betcha. We will definitely do that. It'd be an honor. It would definitely be an honor. Paul, congratulations on the win at the 600. And man, looking forward to keeping. You just keep on going, and that's the cool part about it.
Yes, I sure hope so, man. I appreciate that.
You bet. All right, Mr. White, take care, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks for jumping
on. You bet.
All right.
Thank y'all very much.
Take care, Paul.
Uh-huh.
You bet. There he goes. Didn't hang up on him this time. Remember the last time? I cut him off.
Yeah, whoopsie. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, that's the fun thing about the show, Bobby. We talk about all the different, you know, as long as we've been doing this, it's like a friend of the show. It's our man, Paul White, just kind of jumps on and bullshits with us. That's really cool. That's really
He
cool.
was one of the most popular shows we had during the pandemic, when all we could do is the Texas Racing Legends. One of the most talked about shows we had. Everybody's like, "Hey, man, I love that Paul White one. Y'all should do it again." And it took a minute, but we got him back on again, and probably get him back on. You know, the stories that he has with all the stuff he's raced and all of that has got to be just some of the coolest damn stories. They were so cool last time, but I bet now that he's done it before and kind of loosened up a little bit, I bet that it's a super, super duper kick-ass stories now. Uh-oh. The Joy Alive show. Looks like we lost Rodney. He be frozen. There we go. All right. So it looks like Rodney's having some technical issues again. Right when he thought he had everything rewired and re-racked and stacked up in the audio-visual consultation studios, I won't tell you what brand of internet he's got, but I wasn't the fan when he told me who it was. But anyway, so we thank everybody for hanging out tonight on an unusual night for us on a Thursday night. All things considered, we should be back on the air on our normal time slot next Monday. There at 6:30 on Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day, depending on what you call it now. Some people have the day off, but not us on that Monday. We'll be back at the show, hanging out, ready to go. And in terms, if you missed it earlier at the top of the show, we ended up letting everybody know that there will be a 2025 season coming up at Texana Raceway Park there in Edna, Texas. It was announced during the drivers meeting that the track owner, Cord Beard, intends to keep the place open, and that he's going to get a little bit of help from the Wharton County Playboy, Monty Chamberlain, as well as Sean Klein coming on full-time as the race director there for 2025. So all things considered, lots of good stuff to be had there down in South Texas, down along the Gulf Coast. Speaking of Gulf Coast, we'll probably touch on it in a minute when we get Cody back on. Our thoughts and prayers go all to the affected areas down there at the Gulf Coast with Hurricane Milton that come blowing through Sarasota, Tampa, and St. Petersburg. If you had a chance to look at the news, it's all over the news. The roof of Tropicana Field is just trashed, no longer in existence now. Lots of damage down there, though, like they said today during the press briefing with the governor, was not as bad as forecasted, which doesn't mean it still wasn't bad. Just means it wasn't near as bad. So definitely definitely lots and lots of prayers and thoughts to them in Florida. Also back to our friends in Western North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee. We've seen the stories of success for some of those people. A lot of those people still struggling, trying to get their lives back together. Lots of houses destroyed, lots of lives just definitely just in the blink of an eye changed. And if you ever been through a major natural disaster event like that, like a fire and a flood, you know what it means to have everything that your daily grind lost after that. So definitely our thoughts and prayers with the people in North Carolina continued over there. So we're waiting on Rodney to come back. He has not actually texted me to tell me the ETA or tell me what the problem is. But it looks like we just have a little bit of issue here. Waiting on him. Jennifer, you missed a good check of the show with Jeff Shepard and Paul White just checking in. So if you get a chance, you'll check it out on the replay. Also, if you're interested in finding us on the replay, obviously Facebook is the right place. But if you check out our YouTube channel, we have a lot of exclusive content coming to the YouTube page. We also simulcast on that YouTube page as well. And it is actually a little different name. We've realigned it with the media company that Rodney has started. It's R-IV or R4 Sports Media. That is the best way to find if you're looking for it, the Revved Up Sports Show and some of the other media properties that Rodney and I participate in can be found there on the R4 Media. And so they end up having to be the preferred place to make sure you're a subscriber. We're looking at giving away some different stuff for our subscribers that pop in to be number 499, 500, and 501. We'll be giving away different stuff when we get notified as we get closer to those dates. Also want to thank our sponsors for the show this week, Audiovisual Consultations, Tom McKay, and the gang up there just outside of Austin. As you know, you can't see it now, but they outfit Rodney's studio with all the TV and sound gear and stuff up there. We can't do what we love to do without our friends at On Demand Shirts. We thank James Cole and the gang down there. They keep us looking good, keep lots of racers looking good. One of the sponsors coming up this week at Cotton Bowl Speedway, there for the Oktoberfest, starting tonight with some practice, some preliminary action tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, and then Saturday night rolling right at 7 o'clock for their annual Oktoberfest race event. They encourage you to wear pink in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so lots of cool things there at Cotton Bowl Speedway. Lots of big racing action coming up. Don't forget on the 19th, our friends down at I-37 Speedway will be racing. And you got some big racing action at the South Texas Race Ranch. You got the Fall Classic at Heart of Texas there in Waco. And then just keep in track. You got the DKT Memorial coming up at I-37, along with the first weekend in December. We'll have their big $10,000 to win IMCA Modifieds. And then you also have it there back when you get a chance to come to the racetrack. Speaking of racing, Cody, you're right. Rodney's ghetto. That is definitely what happened with his internet. I think what happened is he said he had some people in his front yard trying to bury the cable. And I bet money that as they were burying it, they cut it in half again. So I don't know exactly how he's going to get back on track, but Cody, thanks for at least attempting to come on, especially down in your neck of the woods with everything happening there in Florida. But if you hadn't had a chance to check out the pictures of the San Antonio race reunion, Jennifer and the gang did a fantastic job on those. I need to actually get with Jen and get me a t-shirt and a hat that I hadn't had a chance to order yet. But like I said, I had to miss the event to go down to Texana Raceway Park there in Edna, Texas for their season finale. And so we look for stuff to be happening right there. All in all, it's been a good couple of weeks, and we're in big money season in terms of trying to do that. I'm checking with the producer, a.k.a. Rodney, about what he wants to do next. I don't think he's got any internet to come back. So we may end up cutting the show a little bit short. Cody, we have to give you another rain check, get you back on the show again, depending on what Rodney says coming up here, what we have going on here. So let's see here. No, that's not right. That's not right. No, he just says hang tight. So it looks like I just get to ramble on a little bit. Also, one of the things that we noticed, let me get some of the information for some of the big races coming up at I-37 Speedway here, where we try to get Rodney back up on the phone line. as we come through. They're having a big race next weekend on the 19th. And then they will, October the 19th, all in design nights. They have late models, fireballs, factory stocks, E-mods, and trucks. Special edition to the trucks. That is going to be next weekend, October 19th. Admission is $20. Senior military, $16. Children, 6 to 12 or $6. 5 and under are free. And they do have a cooler charge down at I-37. That's a max of 12 beers. Pit passes are $30. Car and driver races is $50. So check out i37speedway.com. Gates open at 4. Spectator gate opens at 5, and racing starts promptly at 7 o'clock. Also, if you come around and you have the day, they're going to have the Texas Showdown there at I-37 December 5th to 7th. That is the $10,000 to win IMCA mod. That runs Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You're going to have a barbecue and beer after the practice there on Thursday night. Friday night is heat races and A qualifiers. Factory Shocks will be running the full show with IMCA modifieds and limited modifieds, heat races and qualifiers. Saturday, there October or December the 7th, you've got IMCA modifieds, limited modifieds, heat races, LCQs, A features, and the factory stocks are running a big time show. As we said, $10,000 to win for your IMCA modifieds, $500 to start, and only $150 to enter. Coming up about a week or so before that, the week before Thanksgiving, down at the South Texas Race Ranch, our buddy KR runs the South Texas Shootout, presented by On Demand Shirts, November 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Topless limited modifieds, $5,000 to win, $300 to start. Crate late models, $1,000 to win on Friday night and $2,000 to win on Saturday night. Pure stocks, $1,000 to win and $100 to start, plus micro mods. That's happening at our friends down at the South Texas Race Ranch, November 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. As well as the big one, the Outlaw 34, December 12th, 13th, and 14th. Factory stocks race for $3,400 to win and $340 to start. IMCA stock car is a special add-on to that Outlaw 34. Friday night pays $2,000 to win, $100 to start. Saturday night, $3,000 to win and $200 to start. And then a big person, E-mods, $1,000 to win and $100 to start, along with the micro mods. So lots of big racing action. Don't forget about the Fall Classic coming up at Heart of Texas Speedway here in just a couple of weeks. We talked about some of the different things that they had going on there at Hot Speedway. Information on the Fall Classic, October 24th through the 26th. Gates open on Friday night, the 25th. Gates open at 6. Racing starts at 8. And then on Saturday, the 26th, gates open at 5. Racing starts at 7. Lots of good paydays there. Modifieds, IMCA modifieds. Well, actually, I think it's just regular modifieds. $3,000 to win. Non-qualifiers get $100, and from 9th to 24th pays $150. IMCA stock cars, $2,000 to win, $150 to start. IMCA sport mods, $2,000 to win, $150 to start. And factory stock, same purse there, $2,000 to win and $150 to start. 305 sprint cars run on Saturday. Junior limiteds are running for $500 to win, and Outlaw street stock, same thing, $2,000 to win, $150 to start. As we said, that takes place at Heart of Texas Speedway, the 27th Annual Fall Classic, October 24th through 26th. Still checking in to see. Also got a note there on our Facebook feed that from Jennifer that it's $1,000 to win in the Texas Dirt Truck Series down at I-37. And so we have lots of good stuff. Check out heartotexasspeedway.com for information on the 27th Annual Fall Classic, presented there at Heart of Texas Speedway. So let's see here. Let's see what we got going on here. So obviously, if you're just catching the tail end of the show, Rodney with some technical issues again at home. None to do with the audiovisual Consultation Studios. It's outside sources there taking away his internet connection. So he's working on trying to get connected back in. Probably going to try to use one of the hotspots. But right when he ended up getting everything rocking and rolling, the studio comes through and gets knocked out of power again with the internet knocking out. So we're waiting to see if he can get back on. If not, we'll re-rack, restack, and get the show put in a bucket and get ready to rock and roll there on a Monday afternoon there on Columbus Day on the 14th. So, but if you want to, well, you got a chance if you're checking in on the Facebook feed or the YouTube feed or wherever, talk about what race you're looking forward to the most coming up, whether it be Oktoberfest, the Fall Classic, one of the races down at the South Texas Race Ranch. Also looking at some of the races there at I-37. So we got a couple of big races coming up. It's big money season, and it's all kind of big things happening up on the line here, coming up there on the big money race season coming up. Let's see what we got here. Also, one of the things that we didn't get to mention is also coming up next weekend on October the 19th is the oval track there at Houston Motorsports Park continues. And they will end up being, they just announced it here that they're going to run the trucks. Gates open at 5, racing starts approximately, I don't know, 7 o'clock or so. $1 hot dogs, $1 beer, free parking. Also a Halloween contest and some other things that are going on now. If you needed to book your hotel, you can stay at the track official hotel, the Holiday Inn, their International Airport there on Kennedy Boulevard. The trucks are added to the schedule in $19,000 guaranteed to win, along with the Outlaws, the Legacy, the Legends cars, Crown Vics, the ever popular spectator races, Eco Stocks, and more. Don't forget about they will have a Halloween contest with prizes for the kiddos. So lots of cool stuff happening there at the H&P Oval coming up here. Almost forgot about them. If you can, check them out on Facebook at the H&P Oval or H&P Oval there on Facebook. So lots of the updated stuff there. Let's see what else we got. I think I covered everybody that we have with the trucks. Let's see here. They are not running. If you're checking in, they are not running the sprint cars there on the 19th. It looks like they had a change in management over there, not able to run that particular race. So let's see what else we got happening here. I think that pretty much covers everybody. So everybody just sit tight for a minute. Let me re-rack, restack, and see what we come up with here on everybody's favorite Monday night show on a Thursday. It's the Revved Up Sports Show. Be right back. All right, guys, back again on a special Thursday edition of the Revved Up Sports Show. As we said, had some technical issues there on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Now coming back on a special Thursday edition. It's still having technical issues up in Round Rock at the main hub of all things Revved Up there in the Audiovisual Consultation Studio. Also, just want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank our special guests that have chimed in tonight. We had Jeff Shepard, your national champion for your IMCA modifieds in the country here. And then we also have the big Lone Star 600 winner, Mr. Paul White, popping up here. So lots of good racing action, lots of good guests, everything going on. So it looks like we're going to have to put put this one in the can, as Rodney likes to say, and come through and get everything ready to rock and roll for another edition of the Revved UP Sports Show coming up next week. So we're hanging out and having a good time with the actual feed here. So anyway, we thank everybody for joining us here on the Revved UP Sports Show. On behalf of my partner Rodney Rodriguez, Showtime Bobby Chaffee, God bless, Godspeed. We'll see you next week.